Howdy, welcome back to now lesson 1H. In lesson we're going to continue cleaning up and finishing the front end cap. So like the last one, let's right click on the gray areas, hit reverse face, and change the rest of these to white. So it's just right click and then click on left click reverse face, right click, left click, right click, left click. I'll turn it around a little bit here so I can get to it a little bit better. Alright, so now we have everything in white. I have a couple more lines we want to get rid of. We need to get rid of this line and this line. Now, what I want you to do is click off in the gray area and come back and click on this form section we have, and you'll notice what happens is that both of these are connected together in one component, and we want to separate them at this point. So I'm going to double click on this object again and click again until I see its own component, and I'm going to come up to Edit, Cut, to remove it from this component. Click in the gray area. Now go back up to Edit, Paste in Place. And now we have this front section back in the area, and it's its own component separated from the rest of the components. Alright, so what we're going to do now is our duplicating process so we can create the other half. So we need the Move tool, just kind of as a review. This is the Move tool up here, but we can also get the Move tool by clicking on M, bringing it to the corner, clicking the right button and holding it down, pushing the Control key and holding it down, and sliding our reproduction out. Remember, watch that green line. We want to keep it right straight across. Release anywhere within the area of this thing. Right click, come down to flip along green component. The object is flipped. I want to move in closer. I've still got my Move tool up, so I'm going to grab this and slide this over till it pops into place. There we go. Hit the space bar to get back to the select key. And here's our end cap. Now what we want to do now is we want to do a process of smoothing the end cap to get rid of all the joints. So we're going to go up to the blue line up here that says Soften Edges. Click on that, and what you'll see is a slider and two boxes that can check. We want Smooth Normals checked, and what I usually do is, based on where it's set, I'll just make a minimum change. Boom, and that was enough to soften the entire area. Now, because I had this one highlighted as a component and it was built from this one, notice how they both were softened as a unit. Now, what you might do just for interest, I'm going to move this a little bit, and if you look at the shadow, see how this looks like a kind of a triangle space in here. Well, by moving this to different places, you can notice how you get different degrees of smoothing, and lines appear and disappear based on the degree of smoothing. So you might want to play with that to the point where, say now, for instance, see how that line, now another thing that happened, I can get it just to where that line appears, and then if I click on Soften Coplanar, in this case it's not going to do anything particular. Sometimes it will make that change. Okay, so there's a combination of tools that we can use here, and for right now let's just move it far enough so the whole thing looks smooth, and we're going to close the box. And again, use your select tool in the gray area to deselect everything. So there is our front section. Remember, this is the inside of the end cap, and this is going to be used later to make the outside end cap. What we want to do right now is let's move it over into position. So I'm going to rotate around, get to where I can kind of see the two corners, click on this. I'm going to just do one at a time. Again, move tool or M gets the move tool. I'm going to bring it over here pretty close and then move into where I can see the detail and bring this into place. I want to go back out again, so I'm going to come up and click this tool, the Zoom Extends tool, which will pop me out, rotate around. Now I want the select tool again, so I hit the space bar. Now I can move this one over into place, move in, and now we have our inner end cap connected to the shell of our trailer. Now what I like to do is kind of go around and get really in close and check things, and sure enough, look what happens here. This isn't quite matching up, and for me it's more important to have this top edge match than the bottom one. So I'm going to bring this over, click on this one, and bring this one over. Nope, didn't get that one yet. Let's try again. Okay, now we've got it. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. It always pays to kind of double check things and see how everything lines up. That looks like it's lined up pretty good now. So there's our end cap, and if we swing around and look inside our trailer, we begin to get the feeling of being in an Airstream trailer because we've got the shell with the end cap in place. Alright, so what we're going to look at next is working on turning this into the end cap for the exterior part of the front of the end cap. But at this point I want to stop and this part of the instruction, and then we'll go on and make this on the next one. If you feel brave enough and you're getting familiar with the program, why not try doing this on your own at this point? I think that's really important. And if it doesn't work out, then come back and follow the tutorial. Because oftentimes by trying something on your own and running into some problems, then coming back and looking at the tutorial, it's a solving problems process, and the learning is much more efficient when you do that. It gets sunk into the head a little bit more and stays with you. If you try to jump ahead, solve, and then come back and look at a lesson. So somewhere along the line you might start trying that process.